Hello once again and greetings from the vicarage. I hope that you're all keeping well and safe. Now this week there have been a lot of changes from the Prime Minister with his new announcements of his new restrictions. I do feel for him and for those who are advising him. The pandemic is something that none of us have ever experienced, and it must be quite a task to decide what is best and possible a way forward for our country, balancing and keeping in mind that people must be kept safe whilst helping to save people's jobs and the economy. The result of the changes has not affected the church in any dramatic way. I have a couple of updates, mainly regarding the track and trace. Looking ahead a few weeks, we would normally hold a service to remember All Souls on Sunday the 1st of November. This will not be able to happen this year, but I'm going to include a list of all the names of the people who we have come into contact with through our funeral ministry in the last year in the next edition of our parish news. The following Sunday to that, Sunday the 8th, will be Remembrance Sunday, and we shall be holding a service in the churchyard at the War Memorial only. If anyone would like to join us on the march from the centre of the village to the War Memorial, you are very welcome. The service will be slightly longer than normal to make up for not being able to go into church due to restrictions in numbers. Today, the church celebrates the life and work of Luke the Evangelist. Our readings today come from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 35, verses 3 to 6, and from Luke's own Gospel, chapter 10, verses 1 to 9. Now, the Bible doesn't tell us much about Luke, although early church traditions consider him to be the only non-Jew to write in the Bible. Luke wrote his Gospel, a history about Jesus, and the book of Acts, a history of the early church. It is also thought that he was a doctor because of the detail that he reported regarding the healing miracles. He also provides the most dramatic account of Jesus' birth. The Bible does tell us that he was a fellow helper of St. Paul, travelling with him, and even staying with him whilst he awaited execution. Luke addressed both of his books to a mystery reader known as Theophilus. Theophilus may have been a wealthy Christian who paid Luke to write his history for him. Or he could have been an influential leader Luke was trying to convert. Another possibility is that he may have represented all believers everywhere, since Theophilus means lover of God. The passage from Luke's Gospel comes after Jesus sent out the 12 apostles, and now he is increasing the number of workers to go out and spread the good news. Many people will have been following Jesus, listening to his teaching, and it is from these people that he chose the 72. Like the disciples, they were not special or highly qualified. They were ordinary people committed to sharing the love of God and went out with Jesus' blessing and his power. Something that we're able to do if we are only willing. Remember, there is no unemployment in Christian service. God has enough work for everyone to be involved. So why not join in with the harvest? As well as being in twos, they had the power of God going with them. Part of gaining his power was to pray for those that they were going to approach. Sometimes we get so excited about working for God that we go out in our own strength, having forgotten the most important thing, which is to pray for his help. Jesus gave them some clear instructions as to what they should and shouldn't do. He told them to stay in one household. I think this was to avoid families from competing for the disciples' presence, and so that others wouldn't feel that they weren't good enough to hear the message. I had to smile when I read the other instruction about hospitality. Eat and drink whatever they gave you. I was thinking of some of our family members and how fussy they are about what they choose to eat and drink when they visit us. I've even seen one of ours checking the sell-by dates, just in case one of them might be a day or two out of date. Of course, they were all reminded to heal the sick, because this would encourage others to listen to the good news. Now, we may not always be able to heal the sick, but taking time to visit, when of course we're allowed to talk with, and most importantly, to pray with those who are ill, are all ways in which we can encourage others to know that God is important in our lives, and maybe even set them thinking about sin themselves. The short passage from Isaiah is titled Hope for Restoration. That is something that we all need at this difficult time. Although this passage was written about 2,700 years ago, the message remains the same. One day, things will be peaceful and everything will be right. And so to finish, I'm going to finish with the words of the prophet Isaiah. And he wrote, "Be strong, do not fear, your God will come, and he will save you." Amen.